So I saw that your previous trainer noted that he was too aggressive, and then you have fear aggression,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Fill me in.
He was, when he was younger, he originally is an R dog. So it's his sister's.
My sister, yeah.
Okay.
So she got him when he was a puppy, but she used to like just keep him in the room and just, it was, walks were limited and they were always in the room together.
Relax.
Then
Sit
my
down.
sister started her own family. She's young. She's 21.
Okay.
She started her own family and she left the dog. And
I
then that's when I noticed, because when she was under the ownership, I used to help her. I think once or twice I took him to the vet, and he was fine. I mean, like any dog, he was scared, but he was fine. Then she left, and then I remember taking him to the vet, and he was like so different. He would lunge and try to bite.
Okay.
So they told us I couldn't bring him back without
This
the
is
muzzle.
after you took him in?
Yes.
Okay, but before he was fine when he was with your sister?
I mean, yeah. He was just not. She would not take him out as much.
Okay.
I think it's a social issue.
Yeah. How old is he?
4.
4?
Just turned 4.
How long? When did your sister get him? At what age?
It was in 2021.
Well, he was
Like a puppy.
baby. Yeah, his puppy.
Okay, so 2 months.
Yeah.
Okay. From rescue breeder.
It was it's a
See, I don't know.
I don't know.
Papers right here. Maybe it says.
Papers.
It's from where will it say? I don't know.
If we don't know, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Yeah. I mean, he looks like a mix to me, so
Yeah.
I would think a rescue.
Okay.
But I've seen some funny things come from breeder too, so
Okay.
can never tell. All right, so how long have you had him for officially?
It's been a while
Oh.
now. A year, a little
Longer than that. Yeah.
Well, I used to. I live, like I've always lived with him. It's just my sister had ownership.
Right. So
But
about a
it's-
year
yeah.
since you've taken him when your
Yes.
sister left with her
Yes.
family.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you took him to the vet. Then you noticed he was worse.
Yes.
What other things were kind of letting you know, like, okay, we got a problem here?
What other?
I feel like no, relax. Before, when we would walk him, I think he got a little more used to people. Because before, when we would walk past people, like any person, it would be barking, trying to get to them nonstop. But we've walked him like way more now. So with people, we can even walk past some people. I'll pull him to the side so he's not next to them.
Correct.
But they can walk like this side and I'll have him on this side.
Yeah.
And he'll just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But it also depends on certain people
Yeah,
too.
it's weird. Yeah, and then he's so like if he's out in the living room, he will always bark, dog, person.
Oh yeah, he has like
And
some.
once he starts, you can't stop.
Bring him back. Okay. Can you have people over?
No, not really. It depends. Like I have
I
an
feel like we
uncle.
can have people over, but he gets way too excited that he doesn't know how to contain himself like at all.
In a negative way, or like you're like excited to, like, I'm happy to see you?
Like,
No, I think it depends on the.
yeah, I think it also depends on the person because she has an uncle that will come, and he's been around like and has touched them, played with him and stuff like that. So with that uncle, he'll get like too excited, try to jump on him, but then he'll just end up like leaving after. But then like if some other people come and they have kids, then he'll be like a little too excited. He'll try to nib at them, jump on them and stuff like that.
Nothing overly aggressive.
I don't know. I don't know how he would react if we let him,
'Cause
because
you're
we
not
don't let
that
him out of
aggressive,
fear.
Yeah.
that-
Sure. Yeah.
I know my uncle's wife. She's scared, but then one time they came without the kids, and she's like, "Okay, I'll try." He was being so nice, and she was petting him, and then out of nowhere he jumped at her face.
Yeah.
And she got so scared.
Was she talking to him? That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah. Oh, you can't.
That's fine. It's what's called social pressure.
Oh, okay.
So social pressure is like, if your friend takes you to a party and like they're like, "Yo, go talk to someone," you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
interact, like that's social pressure. Like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, okay.
So for the dog, you have a fearful dog, anxious
Uh-huh.
dog, from what I can see here, and when they come over, the petting itself is social pressure.
Okay.
But usually, what adds on top of it is the talking in a high pitched voice. Because it's too much. Okay. People think dogs like the high pitched voice. They don't. Okay. You could do it because you've now become his family and he trusts you, but everybody else, like, they can only do so much.
Yeah.
So I'm sure, like, I have friends that I've known for like over half my life, like 20 years plus, they could come over, open the fridge, get a beer. Like, I wouldn't care.
Okay.
And I have friends that I've only known for a couple of years, and if they did that, I'd be like, yo, like, we're not that,
Yeah.
close. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing for the dog. The other thing is too, even if she wasn't saying anything, let's say she was just petting him, and then he nipped at her, she did it for too long.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
yeah, like, because people did, oh wow, like the dog's letting me pet them for the first time, and they just kind of keep doing it. And the dog's like, okay, that's enough now.
Okay.
But he doesn't have the ability to say no more, right?
That's how he responds.
Yes. So those are what we'd call like correctional nips. Aggressive stuff. The dog being aggressive on purpose is like super, super rare. Like being aggressive for the sake of being aggressive, like it's like really, really rare. Dogs do things for a reason.
Okay.
Okay. So like the stuff that you're noting to me, it sounds like fear, anxiety type stuff. So if he goes out in the beginning, because you said your sister didn't take him out as much, so the world is a lot,
Okay.
right? So now he's stressed out. He doesn't know how to react. If he thinks something is dangerous, he's gonna bluff, where he's gonna act dangerous first to scare it away,
Okay.
right? But because, as you noted, you walk him a lot. He's like, okay, I no longer have to perceive these things as threats anymore, right? So if you get the random, like, oh, he lunged at this person, then I think of, were they looking at him? Were they talking
Hey.
to him? Were they wearing like construction clothes? Were
Okay.
they looking suspicious? Right? My brain starts to think of all these other things that a dog like him would typically
Okay.
trigger by,
Sit down.
right? So like right now, when I was like, I'm not scared of your dog.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I said that is because when I came to hand you the mic, right? If he really was about it, he would have lunged at me right there.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm like, all right, cool. As long as I don't pay attention to him, he's not going to give me a problem. But the moment I start paying him attention, he's going to give me a problem. So that's why I'm like, I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because I know what's going to trigger him.
You know what we had happened the other day was we opened the garage and he ran out. There was a person walking and he like full sprinted to her, but then he just got closer and then just started barking and then came back.
Yeah, that's a scared dog. So fearful dogs, it's not that they can't bite, right? But what happened is you open the garage, he sees a person, instinct kicks in, and he's like, are you a threat? Charges. Now, did the person move away or anything? Or did she
She
just stand
screamed.
still?
Yeah, she just like screamed and went like this.
Okay.
And then he just like kind of looked at
We
her.
called them and
Yeah, we did try to
So something
recall him.
redirected them.
Yeah.
Because there, so like let's say your dog charges at me, I would just stand there. And then if anything, I'd step towards him as he's running towards me. Because now I'm telling him I'm a threat, right?
Okay.
And because he's a scared dog, chances are he would deflect.
Okay.
Okay. In your case, let's say you didn't call him and the lady kept doing this and screaming, then he might bite her.
Oh.
Because she's showing I'm scared of you. And the moving away pulls out the instinct to want to bite.
Okay.
Okay. So like things like that happen. Like I had a client actually, the reason why he came to train with me is the same situation. He opened his garage and it was a dad walking with his son and the dog charged and then bit the kid. Okay. And when I was like, well, did the kid do this or something? He's like, yeah, because the dog was
Yeah.
running. I'm like, that's why he got bit. Because he panicked and the dog's like, you're afraid of me, and it just pulls out the instinct to want to bite.
That actually happened. A dad with a kid was walking, but the kid just kept going and he didn't bite. So I see what you're
Ignored.
saying.
Yeah. It's the interaction. It's all about how we interact, you know. So that's, but what I mean by like dogs not doing things for no reason, right? Like he's not thinking in his head, when we go on a walk later, I'm gonna harass somebody. You know what I mean? It's just you're walking and he sees something and he's like, I don't know how I feel about that. And then he's gonna react. Like that sound right now. That person that just yelled, right? His ears perked up.
Yeah.
Right? That's a reaction
Okay.
to what he heard. He's not thinking like, man, when we get inside, I'm gonna growl at the next person that yells.
Yeah.
You know, a human could do that. Like you could think, oh, like I can't wait for tomorrow because I'm gonna go to my friend's birthday party. You know what I mean? Like you don't, as a human, you can foresee those things. You can plan things out, right? I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna work out tomorrow at 7 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He's purely reactive.
Yeah.
Okay. So part of my job as a trainer is to educate you guys on behavior, because once you understand behavior, it allows you to avoid things, right? It allows you to be ahead one step. Just like right now, I have a dog that got dropped off this morning who bit the owners a couple of times.
Oh.
So the first thing I assume is, all right, he might try to want to bite me. right? So I told my employee, when you bring him in, put him in the kennel, leave him with the leash on, okay? Because it'll make it easier for me to be able to handle him just in case he wants to try anything, right? But if I didn't do that and he decided to be aggressive, well, now it's harder for me because I have less control, right? So once you understand behavior, you can kind of predict things, and sometimes it's right and sometimes it's wrong. Like, okay, he didn't do anything to me. And I'm like, all right, cool. But if he did, I would have been ready for it, right?
Okay.
And then of course there's the training. How do we help a dog like Mylo? It's Mylo, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I have another consult after you, so I was make sure I didn't get them confused. So your previous trainer, what were they having you do?
The collar.
The prong?
Yeah, they had us use a prong.
Okay.
They weren't treat based. They weren't a reward. They were more of a prong collar.
Okay.
Which it worked. I think he learned. Like he was really scared when he was there, and then he left, and then we tried the walking, and the next day he was doing the
A lot
heel.
better.
The heel.
Good.
And then he told us, I think most of the walk should be heel, and then like 15% of the walk should be free, where he
15?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's more generous than I am. I do 80-20.
But this
well, no,
one-
I'm more generous because I do 80% work to 20% play.
And he does so good, but then this one was like, no, let's let him free.
It has to be strict.
I know. It's just he's my baby.
But so one thing I'll tell you right now, like earlier when he was growling at me at first, and you're like, hey, it's okay, and you pet him. When you pet him, you're actually telling him to growl at you, right? Because petting is a reinforcer, right? So if you said Mylo sit and he sat, what would you do? Pet him,
Yeah.
right? Good job. So when he's growling at me, I hear you. Hey, it's okay, don't growl at Jesse, but you're saying something different from what you're.
Oh, he's
Yes.
yeah.
He's just going, you want me to growl at Jesse. This is why when people, I see it all the time, like dogs will be lunging and barking, and I see the person, it's okay, right? And I'm like, you're really just telling your dog to
Do it.
Keep on doing it. Yeah.
Yes. So physical touch is a reinforcer. We want to reinforce what we want to see again, right? So do you want to see Mylo growl at a person again? No. So then we don't reward that. We would want to correct that. We'd want to punish that, okay? But like, let's say Mylo was doing good and he was behaving well, and you pet him, that would be fine
yeah.
because you're
Okay.
rewarding the fact that he's making good decisions, right? And there's more to it, but that's the most simplest form of understanding it. Okay. The chain leash.
Oh.
No,
I would just got
yeah,
comfortable with.
Yeah, I just got comfortable with this one. We had
Okay.
bought
Is
like.
that what he came with, or is that what you bought?
No, I bought.
yeah, I think we bought-
Is
it.
it because of his behavior?
I mean,
No, I have another one that I also use that's like a
personally,
little
I
bit
just
longer.
like this. That's why.
Yeah. So the chain, the only thing I point out about it is when you know how to use your leash correctly, it is very uncomfortable. And also, you can break fingers.
Oh, with the yeah.
Yes. When people wrap the chain around,
Yeah.
right, and then dogs lunge. I had one lady, she was a nurse, and she had like a Corso. Yeah. And on a chain leash, and she did exactly that. Broke her hand, broke her fingers. Yes. So definitely don't want to do that.
Okay.
So I advise, like some dogs chew the leash, which would make sense
Yeah.
because it's like, well, I don't want them to chew the leash and then escape and then bite somebody. I'm like, okay, for now it makes sense. But then if you move forward with training, you would not
use that, okay.
Exactly. You would use just a regular standard 4 to 6 foot nylon leash.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one. I have another one
At
like
home?
that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Because I know sometimes people, when they have a reactive dog or an aggressive dog, I understand why they'd want to use the chain leash because they feel more secure. But honestly, you're less secure because it's just it's harder to handle,
Yeah.
especially if you wrap around your hands. So what's your goal here with Mylo?
I don't know. My main goal is just some obedience and like not as reactive because
Hey Nate, will you pop the AC on? Put it to
Sit down.
74.
sit down, sit down,
Pull up,
sit down,
and you're gonna pull away from you, and then up, and then relax. Up,
sit down.
up, hold, and now relax. Good. So he triggered there because my employee's coming through, and then my employee started talking because I was talking to him or whatever. No. So you said some obedience, and then I'm sorry, the behavior.
Yeah, behavior.
Okay.
To me, it's just like when there's holidays or anything, I have to lock him. I hate doing that.
Okay.
You know, people are scared of him, or I go on a walk, everybody's looking at me like, oh my God,
No.
he's, and I just want him. I know he's so good to us, and it just makes me upset and sad that I can't have him out.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then also just vet visits are so, I mean, his rabies one is coming up. And I'm just dreading it because they're so scared of him, even at the vet.
Yeah.
I put a muzzle on, and they're like, no, we can't touch him. He's lunging at us. He's.
Even with the muzzle on?
Sorry?
Even with the muzzle on?
Yeah, like he takes it off.
Okay.
He
Where'd
manages
you guys come
to.
from?
Niles.
You're in Niles. Okay,
Niles.
that's right. How'd you hear about
I
it?
live right here, like down the block. I'm on Chicago and Laramie,
Oh, okay, yeah,
so I'm really close. But
Yeah.
he lives in
Up there.
Niles, so
Yeah.
I gotcha. How'd you hear about us?
Just looking.
a
up.
Google search.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And he's
My main thing is that, like, I know he's a really active dog. Like, you can take him on the longest walk and he'll still want to keep on playing when we get home. So the thing is that, like, I also want to socialize him more because I want to take him to dog parks and stuff like that. But it's like, I can't.
Does he
Because-
have any dog friends? Like friends with like family friend dogs or whatever?
One time he brought his.
Yeah, one time I brought my brother's dog because I was dog sitting, and he was like just trying to get at her. Like he was
Okay,
just.
so dog aggression too.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's his. I think that's his main thing, more than like human aggression.
Okay.
His dog aggression is like crazy. We can, like, any dog on a walk, any dog, unless the dog is inside barking from inside the house, if he sees that he's outside on the sidewalk or playing, he goes like insane.
I see.
And then it's like we can't like stop him. We literally just have to keep pulling him and
Remember
walking
when
away.
When he ran out at the park with
Oh.
the Dalmatian.
Oh yeah, there was one time when I was playing with him at the park. I have like a 30-foot leash,
Yeah.
so that I can. The park is like a little secluded. It's not like there is other dogs, but it has a really big space. So that's where I
In the
go with
corner.
him. And then it was a carabiner style that would attach onto the collar, and I had tightened it, but honestly I have no idea how it got
happens.
loose.
Yeah, I know.
It got loose and it came off, and I thought I pulled on him. When I pulled it, I just pulled the leash and I just saw him freaking rushing to the dog. But then again, he did the same thing. He ran to the dog like full speed and everything, but then he got to the dog, and then he just like was barking, smelled him, and then I recalled him, and like I had to go over there to get him, but he didn't.
Attack.
But the
He
owner
didn't-
too was so calm.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yeah.
okay.
The dog also didn't like try to run away or anything. He kind of just stood there, and honestly, I don't know if it was a girl or a boy,
Sure.
but he was maybe like the same size, a little bit taller maybe, but he wasn't like as like, he didn't look as strong.
I see.
So I don't know if maybe there was something there, like.
Yeah, I think it was, so for fearful dogs, like it's a spontaneous decision, but then when he's met with the threat, it's like, okay, well, I don't know what to do here, right? Because he's scared, like he doesn't want the conflict. It doesn't mean that he won't go into conflict, right? Like I said, it depends on what happens next, right? So you're like, the owner was calm, the dog was just kind of standing there, but if the dog would have like did this, possibly there's an escalation because the dog confronted him, or possibly if the dog goes like this to him and he's like, and he runs
Yeah.
away because like I didn't want to fight, it's a panic decision, But that's what we call impulse control. In this case, impulse control that's fueled by this kind of fear response or whatever. Once we get impulse control under control, then it's no longer an issue. Like he won't no longer see a dog 30 feet away and decide, I'm going to charge you. Okay. All right. Are you leaning towards like in-person or board and train or something like that, or what's your thought process on that so far?
We never even really considered boarding because everybody would tell me no.
No.
Yeah.
Did the other trainer take him or no?
No.
No.
It was
one-on-one.
one visit, and then
Oh.
Yeah.
I try to get he's like, yeah, we'll keep in touch. I would text him, no reply.
No reply. Oh, that sucks. All right, I do this all the time. I'm not worried about this. Okay, but there are some limitations or realistic expectations, right? I wouldn't expect him to be a dog park dog. It doesn't mean he can't be social. It's just a dog park is so unpredictable, right? So like you could actually, it is possible he could go to the dog park, right? But what if there's another dog, and it happens where someone will bring a dog that shouldn't be at the dog park, and then that dog comes after him, and then he responds, and then that creates a negative experience, and then that creates ongoing issues. Does that make sense? That does happen. When it's like a friend's dog, your neighbor's dog, a family member's dog, a dog that we would see over and over again, it's more realistic because we can create a friendship, a relationship. And I can show you It's an exercise. And then if that person was available, I'm like, we would meet together. I'd show you how to introduce them correctly, right? There's a whole process. And then I would tell you, do this over and over again, okay? And then it could be the 20th time Mylo sees your friend's dog and he's excited, right? And then you go, wow, like he actually wants to engage and play. And then you experiment with him being off leash, and then he's playful because we took the time, right? Because especially if he's a fearful dog, right? Fear needs trust. He needs to understand this is a non-threat. But when you go to the dog park and there's 20 different dogs, right? And there's 20 different dogs every time you go. Like there's no way to really build trust. There's dogs obviously that are capable of that just love everybody and every dog, right? Like those dogs do exist, but that's why they can do those things.
Yeah.
But there's also dogs that go to the dog park that don't do well because they're the type that needs time, but they open up more quickly, or they're not aggressive, right? You'll see them, they'll be unsure, they'll kind of avoid dogs, but eventually you'll see them kind of slowly coming out their shells, and then they'll socialize, right? And then you get dogs like Mylo, who we might anticipate is going to be more aggressive off the start, right? So that would be a realistic expectation would be we can socialize them with friends' dogs, neighbor dogs, family member dogs, or whatever. What was the dog you said you tried to?
My brother's dog.
Your brother's dog, right? Like that's realistic. I can't guarantee it, but it's more realistic.
Okay.
When it comes to having people come over, that's also realistic because especially if they're people he'd see over and over again. If it's the plumber out of nowhere, if it's like the random, like a friend that brought a friend, you know, I would say just put him away.
Okay.
But he wouldn't be going crazy because you'd be able to stop him going crazy.
Okay.
Okay. But it doesn't help you to have him like the plumber. You know what I mean? And the plumber's not there to help you with your dog training. So in those instances, I just tell clients, like, put the dog away. But like, you know, your brother, your mom, you know, sister, whoever that he's not met before, it's like, well, they're going to come over regularly. Like, you just learn to like them. That's realistic.
Okay.
Obedience-wise, some things have to happen. Okay. We have to teach to heel. And I know he learned heel or whatever from your previous trainer, but he has to learn it my style. Okay. This is what's going to help the random or leftover residual reactivity that you're seeing so far. Okay. The reason why heel's so important is because, so I train with e-collar. You guys are familiar with that, right? Do you know what the technology is? Like how it works?
I've watched your videos, so I kind of do know.
Yeah,
it's like the muscle stim.
Correct. It's a muscle stimulator. So it's not electricity. He's not being electrocuted. Okay. It's a muscle stimulator. It only affects where it's making contact. So if it's here, you're going to see something like this. Okay. It has 127 levels from 0 to 127, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 127. Okay. It's very nuanced. So for the heel, the reason why it's important is because most people walk their dogs 3 times a day, 7 times a week, right? Or 3 times a day, 7 days a week. So that gives us 3 times a day, 7 days a week to practice this exercise to help him learn how the e-collar works, how it turns on and how it turns off. Not uncommon in the beginning because it's a stressor. He's going to look anxious or fearful. Okay, it's not making him worse. He's stressed out because of the training tool. But that's why we need more exposure. Okay. And then you come back. So week 1, I show you how to work with them. You come back week 2, you give me feedback if we're doing in-person type stuff. Okay. What you tell me tells me what I need to do next. Okay. And you might say, man, Jesse, we saw some stuff that normally he would lunge at. He didn't care. I go, cool. What I'm doing is correct. Or you might tell me he's 50% better or 20% better. Maybe it's even 0% better. Okay. I go, all right, cool. The next part, we're going to work on heel part 2. We're going to make some adjustments. And then you go off and do your homework for a week. Okay. You come back, you give me more feedback. If we're still struggling for whatever reason, if it's with dogs, I can try to bring dogs out to trigger him. And we do what we call controlled contacts, right? Where we force the behavior. And then we correct the behavior so that you get an understanding of how it works. If you want to socialize them, we have to get the reactivity under control. Okay. Once that's done, I would most likely also then work on the human stuff. So that means I'm going to touch him. Okay, and we're going to get that out the way. We're going to correct all that stuff. Next class after that might be like recall, like off-leash recall, formal recall. One, so that we don't get those instances, because it does happen. Like equipment can fail. The carabiner ones that the Titan or whatever, over time, I think the lock lose its threading or something, because we have some that are like that, and then you'll see them just undo themselves. Okay, so then sometimes you have to replace them. Usually it's noticeable. But but it happens. So with the remote collar, that's where mental control is important. So even if I've had it happen where like the client's leash got unclipped and they didn't know it, and the dog was still walking with them in the heel. And they're like, Jesse, like it was crazy. I'm like, yeah, it's because the dog's under control. Like the training's that good, okay? Because this is all about mental control. So when you get a dog to learn to calm down and settle, they're no longer as impulsive. Like right now, you see how he's laying down? You look at his ears. You see that? You see how it just moved right now? You see how very kind of attentive he is, right? That is what causes split decisions, right? After training, what you would see is he'd be like this, and his ears would be back, right? Maybe here's a big noise.
Yeah.
He does this again, right? We want passivity, because passivity takes more to become this behavior, okay? So then we cover recall, probably cover stationary control, which is place command, which is go to your bed, don't move, which will help you with guests coming over, okay? Next class after that could be in home. Oh, you're out in aisles. Oh, actually, we could do the Laramie address, because you're in the city, where I show you how to have people come over the right way, okay? Now, is it possible he won't like people still? Yes, it's possible, but that's where place comes into play. Because then if it's like, I'm gonna tell you to go to your bed and you're not gonna come off and you're not gonna bother anybody for the next 3 hours, you can still have people come over, right? Because it's controlled, everything's controlled. So that's where the program starts to get longer, okay? It's the more you want to accomplish, the longer it's gonna be, mainly because of the behavior stuff. Obedience, I know exactly how long it's gonna take me to get something done, as long as the owner does the homework.
Yes.
Behavior is different, okay? Because you can go, oh, cool, Jesse, tell us how the people come over. We're gonna have people come over 3 times this week. Oh, no, I'm busy. You know, I can't make it. Oh, I'm sorry, I got sick, I gotta cancel, right? So it's like, it takes longer to do those things, okay? So I have a client right now, the dog's name is Azul, and same thing, they couldn't have people come over, right? So we did the in-home session, and it's been, I think, a month and a half, maybe even 2 months since that session, and I think they've only had people come over 3 times. Okay, so they were like, yeah, you know, like the dog's still like not happy, but the dog is calming down a lot faster, and we can at least have the person over. I go, cool. I was like, it's going to be a slow process because it's just not as frequent.
Consistent.
Yes. So, and it's perfectly fine. I tell everybody, live your life how your life would be.
Yeah.
Right? So if it's like we'd only have people over once every 2 weeks, then do once every 2 weeks. It just means it's going to take longer. But if you try to do it the other way, where it's like we're going to have a lot of people come over to help the dog faster, and then you stop and you go back to what you normally do, the dog regresses.
Yeah.
Because they're going by what life is now. Does that make sense? So like when COVID happened and nobody could leave or whatever, I had a dog who loved people, no problem. COVID happened, so we trained in 2019. COVID happened. And then when things started to open up again, right, like in 21, the leash. In 2021, the dog bit somebody and became super territorial. Yep, up on your leash, up, pull up. There you go. And then continue up. Yep, this is protest. Continue up. And then he's gonna pull up there a little bit more to move his paw. There it is, and then relax. But because the dog got used to people not coming over for like a year and a half, first person that came over got bit. Okay, so I just tell people, live your life how you want to live it, and then over time, it'll happen. Okay.
Okay.
So the reason why about the in-person, I asked about the in-person or board and train is just to see what you guys were thinking. You learn a lot more with in-person.
Okay.
Because I'm teaching you to teach him.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes longer, which is a con, but you learn so much more. With the board and trains, yep. So here, relax. Yeah, so nothing here. Okay. Because he's not lunging. Okay. There we go. When he comes out, he might lunge. With the board and train, it could happen that he shows us his aggressive behavior. You know, I know how to work with it. I have equipment here, I have a suit and everything if I need it, all that stuff, if needed, right? But then you don't get the experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and it's more expensive. So the difference is I get more done in a shorter amount of time because I'm a dog trainer. I've been doing this a really long time. Whereas with the in-person, it takes longer, but you learn a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We are approaching like the fall winter time. So typically I train out of Oz Park on the weekends. On the weekdays, I'm still here.
Yeah.
But once it starts to hit fall and gets colder, I train here.
Okay.
Okay. Our reason is I'm at Oz Park like all day, is that I get cold at some point. I'm not just there all day. Whereas the client is just there for the hour.
Yeah, yeah.
But also, people like it because they're outside with distractions. But in the fall and winter, like nobody's there
Yeah.
because it is so cold. So then I go, there's no benefit. Okay. Where we train doesn't matter. We could train here and it'll still benefit you in your home. Okay. Because I teach you how to take what you've learned here and then apply it to the real world. Okay. It's very common sense stuff. It's very logical stuff, which is why I like the e-collar. And I don't have to touch your dog. You're training them from the beginning to the end. I don't have to show you anything like myself. 99% of the time, you're doing everything yourself. Okay. So I find that people retain it better. And then I started doing that because of COVID. Because before COVID, I would train the dog in front of you, give you the leash, and then coach you through it. But people would retain less because I would do a bulk of the work, right? But because of COVID, people were like, I don't want you to come close to me, this and that. I created the just purely verbal coaching through everything, and people liked it a lot, and we've just continued with it since. Okay. Questions on any of that?
No, I think it would be better for us to do it in person as
Yeah.
well.
Are you
So we
guys the
can-
primary handlers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. One place that's going to be tricky still, but better, is the vet. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
He is.
is your vet in Niles?
Yeah, Morton Grove. Yeah.
In Morton Grove,
Close.
okay. I have a couple of clients that have dogs like Mylo, but their vet is in the city, and their vet will work with them not work with them, but like they understand.
Okay.
And they're not like afraid of the dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking to maybe change
Yeah. the
because
vet.
he's on fluoxetine right now. And then the first time we took him, they said you have to bring him back on gabapentin and
Yeah. All popped up. Triazolone.
Yeah, that one. But then they're like, oh no, he's still so aggressive. So then they told me
Even on the drugs. Yeah.
So then they told me they gave me some meds that were stronger, ACE something.
I don't know.
They said it would paralyze him, but he would still be awake. And I didn't want to do that.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So
Okay.
I don't know how it will work this time if I don't want to give him.
Yeah. So to do the training, you don't need the rabies shot.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want, you can just cancel it and postpone it.
Okay.
The only reason why he'd need the rabies is if he were to be at like a dog park because like the rabies tag thing or whatever, which
Yeah.
nobody fucking reinforces anyways. But then also, like if he were to come here to board, right?
Okay.
We would need his vaccinations. So there's no urgency in getting it.
Okay.
Okay. And he's not gonna, unless a dog bites him that happen to have rabies, like it's a very low
Rare,
risk
yeah.
thing. Okay. So if you want to save yourself from some heartache,
Okay.
then I would say just wait on that.
Okay.
And then once we get them far enough along, and then I'll ask a couple of clients to see where they go.
Okay.
And then I can pass you
Okay.
the referral. Okay. So unfortunately with the vets as well, is that a lot of times they don't know how to handle this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been there. I went to Indiana once with the dogs, similar. And they had the same thing, all the drugs, and the dog was like this and was drooling and still growled at them,
Yeah.
and then they were still worried about it. And the dog was muzzled. And I'm like, bro, like, how much do you need,
Yeah.
So
Sit.
part of my thing was I wanted to like find a vet to work with, but
Sit down.
vets don't like me because I use e-collar. So that's another thing too, is sometimes vets will tell you like, oh, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
It'll make your dog worse, but then like the drugs don't work either.
Yeah.
Like the fluoxetine, I tell you right now, I ain't doing nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a dog show up named Doug. He's actually here right now.
Oh, we
reporting.
saw that story.
Yes. He showed up on gabapentin, fluoxetine, and triazolone, and he was still trying to attack me. He's off all drugs now.
Oh.
And he does completely fine with us. Okay. And he's been coming with us since 2020.
It's funny when I found you and I started watching your YouTube videos. I was like, what's the worst dog? Like, I was instantly already assuming like Milo's gonna be the
No.
worst there is. She was like, do you think Milo's worse than Doug?
Yeah. That's why we put those videos, because you're not the first
Yeah.
people. Because you don't have anything to really gauge by. But I see this all day, every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get dogs little,
Yeah.
oh my God, no, oh my God, my dog's the worst. I'm like, that's a 1 out of 10. Like, that's nothing.
Oh, I'm not trying to make him sound worse, but when he redirects his like anger or frustration, whatever he has, he will try to. Yeah, it is like a serious bite. Like you can play with him and he'll like nib at you, but he won't. You know a playing bite. Like he'll just
Like he won't.
he'll grab onto you, but he won't like
Push.
pressure down or nothing.
Okay.
But when he's redirecting, that's when he does
So you
like,
see redirect behavior?
Yeah.
When he's on the leash outside?
not when we're outside, but definitely inside the house when he's barking at somebody else and like we try to like, no, get away from the
Okay.
window, like get away from
So
the
stop doing
window.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it makes it worse.
Yes. Okay. We will address that. But what can happen is, so that's redirected frustration. That's correct, right? Is one day he's gonna be like, you know what? I've already told you 20 times with a warning, like leave me alone, I'm barking at the window, and then you'll get a serious bite.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what it is, right? Like, don't touch me, right? Or I'm handling this, leave me alone. And if you keep doing it over and over and over, he's like, when are you going to learn? And then you get a real bite.
Okay.
So I would avoid that for now. And then, once the training starts, I will slowly start telling you, like, now you start addressing stuff.
Okay.
So what I would suggest for you guys is most likely a 12-week program. Okay, of in-person. So that's 2 on heel, 1 on place, 1 on recall. So that's already 4 classes. Okay. And then we have me petting him, right? Then we have how do we have people come over? And then we have how do we get him to start trusting the people that come over? And then we want to introduce him to a dog, right? And then there's probably going to be more stuff that stems from that. Okay. At minimum, I'm only covering 3 obedience things. The necessities. Walk with me, don't pull, which will help the reactivity. Go here, don't move, which will help with people coming over in case there's someone he doesn't like or whatever, right? You can still have people come over. And come to me, which is to help give you that freedom so that he can, run and stuff like that, but not worry about if this dog escapes me, okay? And then if the behavior is progressing well, then we'd cover more obedience because you'd get more control, okay? The obedience doesn't help the behavior, but the discipline behind the obedience is what helps the behavior, okay? The e-collar, right? So I like to think of the e-collar as a bite on the button, right? So like when you go to push him away from the window, that's a bite, right? He's saying, leave me alone. So we have to bite him back. That's why your prong collar looks the way it looks. It's meant to mimic a dog bite, okay? But it can only do so much intensity-wise. With the e-collar, like I mentioned earlier, we have 127 levels to match him. So if he needs me to be at 80 to stop him from lunging at the window, I'm gonna be at 80. If he responds to 30, then I'll be at 30. Okay, I don't pick the number. Mylo will pick the number. Okay, and they're once a week generally for an hour. So like, let's say it was Saturday at 10 o'clock, right? And I'm here. Every Saturday at 10 o'clock we would meet here. Okay, week after week. Towards the end, probably class 9 or so, I'll probably tell you to start spacing the classes out because now you need time to practice stuff, right? Because like I said with that client earlier, when we did the people stuff, it was like 2 months or whatever, and they've only had like 3 people come over since. That's why we space stuff out, okay? And their dog is actually Azul's videos on my YouTube.
Yeah, I think I've seen it too.
Yes, where I walk up and he just starts lunging
Yeah,
at
yeah.
me. Yes, okay. So
It's like I think it's a border collie, isn't it?
yeah, a shepherd. He's an Australian shepherd.
Oh.
That's correct. Yep. Him worse than him. Okay, because like him, I couldn't even have the conversation. Like we had to do I had to, right when they showed up, we right away started correcting them for the behavior because he wouldn't let me talk to them. So
I think maybe we feel like he's crazier because he's like a little strong. So I think that's why we feel like.
yeah.
Oh
Once
my
you
gosh, he's
know
so-
how to use your tools and once you see you can stop them, you're going to be a lot more confident. Okay, because that's where I'm confident. I'm not worried because I already know what to do.
Yeah.
Even if something went south right now, I'd already know what to do with no equipment. So I'm like, I'm not worried about the dog if he freaks out, right? When my employee went over there and he freaked out, I just told you what to do, right? When my employee came over here or whatever and he started going up, I said, just told you, keep pulling up. And then he calmed down again. So that's why I'm not worried about it, okay? So that's why I tell my clients too, you don't worry unless you see me worried. Okay?
Yeah.
Because it can look bad sometimes. It can
Yeah.
look pretty crazy because I deal with aggression.
Yeah.
And I'm always like this. And then the owner's like this. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you can relax. Like, this is all normal. They're like, it is? I'm like, yes. For what you're dealing with,
Yeah.
it's normal. Okay?
Have you ever had a case where you're like, it's too much or
No.
no?
I had a case that's kind of technically a little bit not true. I had a case, it was a Mastiff, 180-pound Mastiff,
Oh,
had never left the house,
yeah.
was aggressive with people, and they were going to film a movie at the guy's house.
Oh.
And 3 days they were going to film the movie, he booked a consultation, and the only thing we could do was a board and train. And I told him, is the dog muzzle condition? He said no. And there was something else too. And I'm like, it's really difficult for me to work
The
with this
time
dog
frame, yeah.
because of the time frame. I would need the dog muzzle condition because if I'm not here, my staff is here. Like, we need to be able to handle safely,
Yeah.
you know? And then the guy's like, also, how are we supposed to get the dog to your facility? I'm like, bro, why didn't, if you knew they're gonna film at your house, like, why wouldn't you do this like months ago? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So that the only time I've ever had to like, not necessarily reject, but I have to put a lot of rules is because of safety precautions.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if I was training that dog at the owner's home, it would be easier because I don't have to touch the dog. But as soon as the dog is here, I also told, and the dog was like 8 years old. I was like, I'm afraid your dog might have a heart attack here because it's never left your house. It's gonna be stressed out beyond, it's like out its mind. You know, we're gonna be using e-collar. I've had dogs that have had to double e-collar, you know, because they were so aggressive or they were so big. It happens.
Holy shit.
It's rare, but it happens, you know? So like all these things, but other than that, like as long as, you know, I have the appropriate amount of time or we have the appropriate tools and stuff like that, I go, yeah, we can train the dog, no problem, you know? That's why like I have my bite suit and stuff, you know?
Okay.
So we can 99.99% of the time figure something out. Every now and then something happens where I'm like, yeah, this is a lot that
Okay.
I don't have enough, but this is, I'm not worried about this,
Okay.
I will say, I can only take you as far as you're willing to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we're pressing the behavior, I go to touch him or whatever, and like it's really bad. We could be maxed out on the collar, he could shit himself, he could piss all over the place, he could throw up, that's all normal, okay? And if you're not willing to do that, then I go, well, I can't help you there.
Yeah.
That's where I can't help, is when the owner goes, this is too much for me,
Okay.
I doubt it's gonna become that. But I always give worst case scenario, because I want people to understand, and it's only because of the case. It's only because there's both human and dog aggression. And I know that if I press him, I know he's probably gonna freak out, okay? Because he's fear-based. So that's where the pooping himself comes into play, okay? And stay relaxed, but just hold your leash. But some people, they're just like, it is too much for them. And I go, well, then I can't help you. Because if we end up there, now we're stuck. And it doesn't matter if I train the dog and I do it myself, because if I bring the dog back and
We're
you don't
not,
do
yeah.
it, the dog's like, okay, well then why am I gonna continue to behave myself, okay? So that's worst case scenario. And it's a very rare time or thing when that happens. The collar I'd recommend is the Dog to Black edition, which Tina will give you the information
Okay.
on. It's the highest output collar. It just means we'll get more from less.
Okay.
It's meant for a 70-pound dog and over.
Yeah.
Perfectly safe to use. That's what Azul is on.
Yeah, I see which one it is. I found it on Amazon.
Yeah. If you get it, I don't care where you get it from. If you get it through us, it is 10% off. But if you get it on Amazon, make sure that when you get it, the remote will say Black Edition. Okay. Sometimes there's another model called 1900S, and sometimes they send that one instead.
I think I've seen it, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
There's two different ones.
Yes.
If you have it here right now, we would be able to buy
Yeah,
it.
we would invoice you for it and all that
Okay.
stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I have them in stock.
Okay.
And as clients, just as FYI, you do get 10% of like all
Okay.
our retail and stuff. It's just a perk for people. So like dog food or whatever, if you ever like want to save some money, we have 10% off everything here. Okay. Once a dog is trained with us, they're also welcome to board with us.
Okay.
We just need the records to be updated. We do require a fresh new fecal for any dog that we take in. You don't have to worry about that until that day comes.
Yeah.
Okay. What I do recommend, so in the future, do you see him needing boarding potentially?
I don't think so.
Okay. Just as FYI, because it happens, if you end up needing boarding, right? Like I said, we need a fresh fecal. So I always tell clients, like if you foresee needing a fecal, the only person that needs it is us.
So,
The fecal, the vet doesn't need the fecal. You don't really need the fecal unless the dog is giving you signs of like something, they're sick or whatever, like worms in their poop or what have you, right? But boarding facilities do need the fecal. So since we want a fresh one, we just tell clients, just wait until you're gonna board your dog, and then they do it a week before, because sometimes it can happen where the test can be done during an incubation period and it won't pick up the parasites and things like that.
okay.
So, but if you ever have questions on that, feel free to let us know.
Okay.
Any dogs that we've trained are welcome to board with us.
Okay.
Questions on any of that?
No,
no, we're good.
I think we're.
So a very common question I get is, when does the e-collar go away?
Oh,
In my
yeah.
book, when you need it, it doesn't, okay? So that means if you're gonna have guests come over, you have your collar on. You're gonna walk them, you have your collar on.
Is there a problem with leaving it on all the time?
Technically no, but what can happen is
Just
pressure
for-
sores.
oh,
So you have to move the
okay.
collar, right?
Okay.
In the beginning, usually how it works is you'll be using it quite a bit, right? And then as he starts to get better, you'll start to taper off. But you'll still use it when guests come over, when you walk him, if he's going to be at the park off leash or anything.
I guess that is it. And then another, would we leave both on all the time? Well, not all the time, but like, it would be one or the other, or?
I can show you an alternate means of correcting him for stuff in the house, like marking out the window and everything like that, once we're far enough along. So do you keep this on him, the prom?
We try to give him breaks, but
Yeah.
sometimes we just.
Is it because you need to control him in the home because of the window stuff and everything? Or?
Not really. It's just,
My mom walks him, and then she doesn't really know how to put it on.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes I just leave.
Sure. No, you can take them off.
Okay.
Unless you're like if, for example, when you're correcting and barking out the window, then you'd have to have the collar on
Okay.
and stuff like that. But comes a certain point, because the dog's not stupid. He'll learn, oh, the collar's on, I can't bark out the window. Oh, the collar's off, I can bark out the window.
I say it because I would prefer not to take them off. I would prefer to just leave them on.
Oh, I see. Yeah, with the remote collar, because it's battery, you'll have to take it off at some
Oh,
point.
yeah, it'll charge.
But then it's what's called pressure sores. So there's two probes, and if they're on the same spot all day, it'll create sores. So you have to move the collar around. Okay. There is what's called a comfort adapter, which is meant for more extended wear. Even with those, I recommend the client still rotate. But if you don't rotate it, like let's say you forgot and you had it on in the same spot for 4 hours, it shouldn't do anything.
Okay.
And then you would just rotate it when you remember. Okay. So technically not wrong. But a lot of times, as you're making progress, you're like, well, I actually don't need to have it on all the time. But completely personal preference.
Okay.
And we already covered I can only take as far as you're willing to go.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So the next thing would be, reaching out to Tina. So I recommend the 12. I would do no less than 9. But if we do 9, I'm having to cut what we're going to cover.
Yeah.
Okay. 12 just gives us a lot of wiggle room to work with. She will. So if you send her, hey, Jesse said 12. We want 12. Please send us the contract, what have you. She'll send you the contract form. Once that's signed and submitted, she knows you're serious. Then she'll go on with the invoicing and stuff
Okay.
like that. She'll take care of the collar stuff as well. And then if you want to cut some time, if you give her your schedule, right? If you're like, these are our schedules where we're both available, she then looks at my schedule and then sees where she can place you.
Okay.
And that would most likely be your recurring time.
Okay.
Every now and then, if clients want to start right away, but I'm not available, it'll be on a different day, and then it'll pick up on a separate
Okay.
day and it'll be the same day after that.
Okay.
Okay?
And it'll always be you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Okay. Anything else?
Do you think we can? Do you think we could try to see if he would lunge?
So hold your leash. Go ahead and stand up. And then hold them. So yeah, fix your leash here. I'm gonna have you hold them to your side. Either side doesn't matter. Okay, there you go. Yeah, fix that there. Good. Hold your leash shorter. Excellent. Yeah, stand there. Pull him to your side. Come a little bit forward.
Come here.
Yeah, let's go right there. Okay.
He's scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just scared.
But you see that bite there?
Yeah.
2 out of 10.
Okay.
Like I can feel it through here. It was very soft.
Okay.
Okay.
Come here,
So that's
come
what
here,
we
where
call
are you
piano
going?
biting.
Okay.
Piano biting is when a dog bites in a panic, but it doesn't really do much.
Okay.
It's literally just like that. I get dogs that will like that. Okay. So he's not confident, which also explains why when he did those 2 charges, it didn't escalate.
Okay.
Because even right now, when I went towards him, what did he want to do?
He wanted to back away.
He wanted to back away. Yes, yes,
So he's
yes.
just
wanted
But
to
if
get
you
away.
respond the wrong way, you could provoke something, right?
Come here.
So what we would do there is, once we're far enough along, we would make him take it, okay? And then if he became aggressive or whatever, we would correct all that stuff, which is what teaches him it's not acceptable, and then we'd continue to press him, okay? The next thing is for your muzzles. Is he muzzle conditioned? Like, will he wear it or does he take it off?
No,
takes
he
it off.
takes it off.
Okay.
I
Do you
don't
have
know. I have
It's
2.
right here.
I
so
have.
there's that one or is the other one? That's the one you want,
Oh,
is the
okay.
Baskerville.
We just have a hard time. Does he take it out because it's too loose, or is it?
Yes, yes.
I don't
So
know
I would
how
help you
to-
with all that.
Okay.
Stuff. Okay. And it also secures, so throw it over here. So here, the back of the neck needs to be snug. it needs to be very tight where you can't even put a finger. Okay?
Oh, okay.
But then also on the bottom, you see this loop? That's for a collar. So
Yeah.
like typically we'd put the e-collar through there
Okay.
because what happens is it can be tight up top, but when they pull on the bottom, it'll come out
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it gets
Okay.
stuck here.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would show you all that stuff.
Okay.
So you don't have to really worry about it, but that's the one you want is the
This-
Baskerville one.
okay.
Okay. And it does look to be the correct size.
Okay. Yeah.
When you email Tina, if you tell her, please send us the muzzle training videos, she'll send you a link. It's to my website, and on the page, there's like training resources, and there's some videos on muzzle conditioning. Okay. It's just with treats and food and stuff.
Yeah.
I would suggest doing that. It'll make our lives easier. So once we come to needing the muzzle, so like I don't need the muzzle because I have equipment, right? But when you're going to socialize them to like friends and family and stuff,
That's-
you'll need it because it'll help them feel safe. It'll help you feel more relaxed until you feel like you can trust them. Okay.
So I think we can get the muzzle on him. We do it the same way, like with the treats. We'll put the treats through the muzzle, and then we'll eventually get him on him. But it does take a little bit. But then he'll, like we said, he'll just take it off. So
Yeah.
clearly, it's a us thing that we.
Yeah.
With
Putting it
conditioning,
on.
it's to help him put it on more easily, but then also keep it on for a period of time.
Okay.
And then
I believe this is my next client, so hold right there. Okay.
okay. Sit down.
Oh, I tried to.
Hi, Corey.
Yeah.
Jesse. Nice to meet you. Just wrapping up here. You can have a seat right here on the white bench.
Sit down.
So pull up,
Yep.
up, up, up. Up, up, up. Yep. You got it. This is just panic. There it is. And then relax. There we go. Good.
And at home, what would you say about? I think he babies him too much. Do you think?
Yeah, we're gonna have to stop that. Because you can't be his
Yeah, it
leader
can't be.
and soft at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to be mean, but you have to be assertive, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't be soft with him, right? But if you're soft with him a lot, then he's not gonna take you serious.
Yeah.
You know,
I know.
like right now, you've heard the occasional bark and stuff. It's busy for a Monday. We have like 35 dogs here.
Okay.
But like you wouldn't know it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's structured here.
Yeah.
And we have that structure because we don't treat dogs like babies here. We just treat them like dogs.
Yeah.
And if they make a bark or whatever, we would correct them.
Yeah.
There's rules and boundaries. But also we're just like leader type or as much as possible. 'Cause some of my employees will sneak in a pet here and there. It happens. I get it, right? But because of that constant authority, leadership energy is what allows me to keep a quiet kennel.
Okay.
Whereas most kennels, if you go, it's just like
Bark.
Yeah,
barking all the time and stuff like that. Okay, so nothing I haven't seen before. I'm not worried about the
Okay.
case or what have you. It's just I can only take as far as you're willing to go.
Yeah.
Okay, but yes, if you email Tina, let her know your schedule, tell her you want 12, and then to send you the muzzle conditioning videos. So start that process right away.
Okay.
Everybody treats it like a high school project. Like, I'm going to do it the day before we need it, right? You don't want to do that.
Okay.
Because if we need the muzzle in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, that's 4 to 5 weeks you've already been doing some work. So by the time we need it, if we have to do what we call force conditioning, which is using the e-collar to make him tolerate the muzzle, you at least have done plenty of other groundwork, and it makes that easier, okay? When I have to force condition, because we have to think, the dog has the e-collar, the muzzle, the person or the dog that we're socializing with, right? All these stressors stack on top of each other. And then it becomes overwhelming, and then it's just not
Yeah.
productive, okay?
Okay.
So the less we can get them to think about the muzzle, the better, so that when we go to introduce him to dogs and people, he's not gonna be so hyper-fixated on it, okay? But you
Okay.
have the correct one already. It doesn't have to be the correct
Okay.
size. Anything else?
The only other question I was gonna ask is, do you think any like bite work would help him in the future?
No, you don't want to teach a dog like this bite work.
No? Okay.
No, because now you're making a fearful dog a weapon. That now if, like the attacks that you've seen where he's done nothing, well, if he knows how to bite, guess what's going to
Oh,
happen?
that's
Yeah.
it.
Even in the future, like
No.
I mean,
after he's
you
been.
could do it, but you would have to be like, he'd have to be as straightened out as possible.
It
Okay.
could backfire.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Is it just for like,
Just to get his like all his energy out sometimes
oh,
and
don't
all
worry
of that.
about that. We have ways of getting that done.
Okay.
Yeah. What looks like energy is lack of discipline, is really what it is.
Okay.
Okay. Once you start the training and stuff, he's gonna be a different dog.
Okay.
Okay. And there's other ways of exercise too that are not bite work related. But yeah, there's a trainer in Chicago that does have that theory of like, oh, your dog wants to bite people, let me train it. And even 15 years ago, when I first started dog training, I knew it was a terrible idea. I was like, because if this dog is scared of people and then randomly lunges when it's scared, but then also knows how to bite correctly, like that is just a loaded, randomized weapon. And it's not a good idea. Okay. Anything else?
Can we take the e-collar home today, or would we have to get it another day?
Oh, you can pick it up another day, yeah.
Okay.
Because she has to invoice and all
Okay,
that stuff.
okay. Oh, okay.
Not that I don't trust you guys, but we have had people not pay for.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it's okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has happened. Okay. So you can take your mics, you can place them on the chairs there,
Okay.
and then I'll help you out.
Thank you.